camera ended up the wrong way because it was messing up on the way in. So, if you could channel in some way, thank you so much to everybody who shows up regularly and supports my channel in whatever way you do. If you guys do want to do that, you can donate through my Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wishlist, P.O. Box. Like, share, subscribe, comment, leave timestamps, donations, super thanks, sticker, super chat, things like that. And also, if you guys want to be able to make a purchase, you can find my payment options in the description box below. Send payment, throw your question down there, and I will answer it in between the collective messages. Hi, Rashima. So today we are going to be doing a love collective message. Have the confidence to break your silence. You never know what may be lost without your voice. So there could be something that you are needing to speak about. There could be a story you're needing to share. This is something that is meant to be heard, meant to be seen. You are meant to be in the spotlight in some way, recognized, noticed. At this point in time, you could be feeling very peaceful in certain situations, or you could be needing to get into that peaceful energy. I receive them too. We could use them. You're doing an amazing job. You could be somebody very bubbly, very happy-go-lucky, somebody that really brings a lot of lighthearted energy into people's lives. I'm a wolf and I'm hunting you. There's a song. How does that song go? Because I can't remember the name of it right now. Basically, the song is like they think that you're prey and they're hunting you, but on the other side of the coin, you see them very clearly and you're actually the one hunting them, kind of thing. Because I'm a wolf and I'm hunting you. There could definitely be somebody who has been extremely jealous of where you have given your heart. This person could be having a lot of anger. They could even be extremely confused. This person might have some sort of mental health issues as well. They could have been causing some sort of problems in your life in some way. They could actually even be somewhat dangerous as well. Somebody could have actually been extremely angry if you had chosen to be with somebody of a different race than what you are and what they are. So somebody could be extremely racist as well. And it doesn't matter what race they are, and it doesn't matter what race they're racist against. Anyone can be racist, and you can be racist against any race. I've known a lot of people that have been extremely racist against white people, which is somewhat understandable because of the past history between them. And at the same time, the people that are alive today didn't do the things that were done hundreds of years ago. So, this could be somebody who has had to eat alone a lot as well. This may actually be somebody whose friends have all deserted them at this point and who doesn't really have anybody that they can rely on or trust. Somebody's partner actually could have reached out and told you some of the things that they were doing as well, because this could have actually been somebody that you had rejected that actually went around telling people that they had been with you in some way or something along those lines. We have the sacrificial lamb here as well. As a child, somebody could have tried to sacrifice you in some sort of way. The song that just popped in my mind. How do I get through a night without you? What kind of life would that be? I know I skipped all kinds of things in that song, but everybody knows what song I'm talking about. So there could have definitely been a moment in your childhood where you were sacrificed in some sort of way by somebody that loves you. And on the other side of the coin, somebody protected you, given to those that we truly admire to protect them from jealousy and harm. For some of you, a grandparent could have actually passed away right before justice came in a situation. This person could have actually offered themselves up in some sort of way to make sure that you were safe and protected. I agree, Rishima. Completely. The sun is starting to come out. Things are starting to be exposed or seen from past situations. You're doing a lot of cleansing at this time. This cleansing that you're going through, this sadness, this pain, this hurt, this crying, is going to be growing the seeds that you have planted. So there could be a lot of sadness in a current love situation with you and a partner. There could be a lot of tears being shed. There could be a lot of pain or a lot of hurt. There could be some sort of separation going on or some sort of delay that has taken place. Something that's out of either one of your control. It's kind of like if you could be, you would be together, but right now the universe wants you apart for a reason so that you can both align yourselves, so that you can both feel whole in yourselves, so you can do the healing necessary to create beauty in this situation. And I feel like this time period of pain or sadness and loss is really going to be growing some beautiful things. April showers bring May flowers. Which is funny that it's actually April. So, by the way, all my readings are timeless as well. So if you feel drawn to a reading of mine, and it's like 2 years old or something, it doesn't matter. There could definitely be something in there that you are meant to hear in that message as well. I don't say that often, but I felt really drawn to say that right now. There could also be a lot of healing that you've been doing of your past as well. And there could be a lot of natural methods you've been using, whether that be marijuana, shrooms. Shrooms and microdosing studies have been seen to be very effective against depression, especially in PTSD, especially when it comes to like war vets and things like that. And they have actually done studies that compare war vets and abuse trauma from early childhood. Basically, children who have been through severe abuse, they might as well have gone to war, because that level of PTSD is the same as it would be if you were a veteran of war. So those people who have actually been through that severe abuse and trauma and then went to war, or who had repeated abuse and trauma throughout their lives, imagine how strong that PTSD is. And if those people, because there's a lot of those people who heal that and who manage to make it out the other side, if they can do that, then so can you in your life. Definitely believe in that. But whether it be shrooms or marijuana or essential oils or vitamin therapy or nutrition therapy or even going to therapy or working with a spiritual healer or a priest or a pastor, there is a lot of this work that's going on right now to be able to heal the past trauma and pain and hurt that you have gone through. For some of you, that will be physical abuse or neglect. For some of you, that will be being the scapegoat and being sacrificed by a parent in order to have their life a certain way. They may have ignored your pain or your suffering, or just left you to be abused in some sort of way. It could have been sexual abuse or trauma. especially considering I know that a lot of my collective has been through sexual abuse and trauma as well. Right now, there's a lot of luck on your side. There's a lot of blessings coming your way. There could be a lot of signs or synchronicities. You could be seeing four-leaf clovers. There could be a rabbit's foot that's important as well. Maybe you even had a rabbit's foot as a child. Horseshoes. Hearts. Hearts could be popping up everywhere. You may be afraid to express some of the things that you have or some of the stories that you could tell about situations. And you may be afraid to do this because you may have actually been here several times. You could have a lot of past lives. And even if you don't have past lives, your ancestors also could have dealt with some of the similar things that you have. And they could have went through severe persecution. Over 500,000 witches were murdered during the witch trials in England. And the sad part is a lot of dark practitioners were actually working with the people that rounded them up and killed them. They turned against their own kind, and they outed a lot of people that were actually, and technically it wasn't even their own kind, because I mean, if they were dark practitioners, then they were outing the light practitioners, and then they took over the world. Yeah. But anyway, I ran into one recently that told me for $500 he would kill pretty much anybody and use his black magic to do it. That's pretty fucked up, honestly. XXOO. That is the only person that my cat has ever scratched. Ever. She tore his arm from the top to the bottom when he picked her up, and that was before he even said that shit. All kinds of bleeding going on there. So know that you are always protected. And if there is an animal around you as well, this animal is very protective over you. Somebody could be getting ready to pass away as well. And this could be causing some sort of freedom or independence in your life. Thank you so much, Katarina. You can throw your question down there anytime. Animal love. I feel like a lot of the love that the collective has at this moment is from animals, is between you and your animals. And you may feel like you don't have a whole lot of love from the world around you. But I feel like there's definitely somebody that does love you, and they're trying to get up the courage and strength to express something that they've kept hidden. There might actually be something that they have kept hidden in your situation. So got a thing for you. What You Won't Do for Love is actually a song. You made me want to do those things that I won't do for love. So you have made somebody want to better themselves. You've inspired them to be a better person, and you have inspired them to take the actions they wouldn't normally take in a love situation as well. 1344 was just on the clock. So karmic cycles are being broken, and chains are being broken, and people are being freed. And if you are in a separation of some kind, this is the purpose for that. Reciprocity. Reconciling, getting back together, or coming back together. Equality, equal give and take. Fond memories, root work. So, once again, there's a lot of childhood pain and trauma that you've been working on and working through to release. You may even feel like the people who loved you did not fight for you in the way that they should have, and were not willing to put in effort when it came to situations regarding you. And I feel like a lot of that is what you've been working on and healing. Healing your codependency issues, and really fighting for freedom and justice in situations. Allowing yourself to believe that you are worthy of love and worthy of being fought for by yourself and by others around you. Stepping up to be your own savior. So Katarina, what does your spirit guides want you to say What does Spirit want you to say about your spiritual development? There could be a lot of things that would be unbelievable to the outside world. Kind of like some of the things I've said recently about telepathy. If you guys check out the MK Ultra program, that level of telepathy, the like mind control variety that they have learned on the government side and the criminal side. Things like that, where it would be something that would be completely unbelievable. In this death card, it says something different in the book. I might grab that in a minute, but in this particular episode, these three guys here, when they came to town, everyone lost their voices. Kind of like in The Little Mermaid where her voice was taken. Everyone had lost their voices and weren't able to speak, weren't able to scream. Can't even speak, can't even shout. The gentlemen are coming out. Or something like that was part of the rhyme that was going on in it. Poetry could be important here as well. Maybe even music. The way that Buffy ended up defeating them, she broke the jar that had the curse in it, and then she screamed. And the piercing scream she had caused their ears to bleed and their systems to short out, basically, and they died. Whatever it is that you have to speak about is so important that it is going to cause massive transformations in the world around you. And it is also going to expose people who have been hiding in the dark and practicing things that there's a lot of people who know nothing about. You may not be seeing how important this is as well. And there may also be something that you need to express about your gratitude. There may be something that needs to be expressed about an authority figure in your life as well. You may be worried about whether or not you will gain recognition in a situation. I am so glad this is resonating with somebody else as well. There's definitely something here about being recognized, being seen, being heard, about having a victory. You may not be seeing the victories that you've already had in your life as well. So that could definitely be what the expressing gratitude for is, the victories that have already been there. Somebody asked me recently if I would sell my soul. And I was like, well, not knowingly. And I was like, no. In fact, there's actually been a couple times over the last couple years where it almost felt like I was in that position being asked that. And I was like, yeah, no, there's no way. There's no way. The price would be too high no matter what it was. And the gift would be too low no matter what it was that you were receiving. Both of the people sitting in the room said that they would. And I asked both of them on a separate occasion later, what price would you be willing to pay? Would you be willing to kill somebody for that? Say somebody like me. Both of them said no. But, you know, there may be gratitude that you need to express to somebody in particular in your life as well. Somebody who may have been there for you in some way. You may be feeling very stubborn in this situation. Or you may be unsure of this person's intentions as well. You may even be feeling that this person has toxic traits about them in some way. And that could be stopping you from recognizing how they've helped you in some sort of way. There could also be something about somebody that you love who may have practiced some sort of magic against you in some way. And this could be something that you're needing to talk about too. We have the pinball game over here. Something about always dropping the ball. There's a song. I can't remember what the song is. but it's like coming in through in pieces. If he steps over your boundaries, then leave him. I don't get bitter, I just get better. So the song is better. Look at the clouds. Just kind of find some time to cloud gaze for a little bit. And this is going to help you as well. Somebody actually tried to switch energies with me recently. And like they really, really wanted my energy. And I was like, you know what? You want it so bad? Here, take it. Just take it. I don't even care anymore. I'll switch energies with you. Fucking go take care of my life purpose. Take these gifts and do something fucking phenomenal with them because I'm done. I don't even fucking, no, I'm good. Just take them. And we switched energies and I went into a black void of fucking nothingness. And I was just like, wow, yeah, go ahead and keep those because you know what? I think at this point I can just walk down the street and throw myself off that bridge into the river and be just fine with it. I won't even be upset about it anymore. And I can just fucking leave here and I can take this shit with me right out of this world because wow. And they were like, no, 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 come back. Here, take it back. Take it back. I'll take mine. Just take yours back. Because now they were in my energy and my energy is the kind that wants to save everybody. So, yeah. There has definitely been a transformation in your life of some kind. A way where you are seeing things much more clearly, listening to your intuition much more clearly, noticing and piecing together the pieces of some sort of game or some sort of situation. And these pieces need to be revealed. As confusing as it may seem at this time, everything will come together at some point to where you will be able to see them much more clearly. But a lot of it's going to run hand in hand with you expressing these things. So, where are you heading in love? It definitely explains why you're here for the collective reading. Fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. No fear. I had no fear in that moment. I have spent a lot of time over the last couple of years with no fear, or with fear striking for just a second and then me going, no, I don't need that around. When I'm meant to be gone, I will be gone. When I am meant to be here, I will be here. So, there was a certain situation with somebody that said something about, and you know, considering he had a drunk driving experience where his wife and his child had passed away, it could have had something to do with that. Of course, it could have had something to do with him saying at some point that he was an enforcer at some point. But he said something about he might as well have been a serial killer but didn't want to be anymore, or something along those lines. And so I'm out in the middle of nowhere with this person. We're going to this lake. And he was saying something about, why did they got to put those guardrails there? If those weren't there, then we'd just be able to drive off of there and die, basically. And there was a thrill of fear for a minute, and I'm pretty sure he sent it my way. And he was like feeding off of it. The radio started playing, not gonna drown in the water, 'cause the good Lord ain't bringing me home. You could have had a lot of experiences where you were very protected in similar situations to that as well, Katerina. And that could be part of what that gratitude thing is too. Recognizing that and having gratitude for it, because they may not protect us from every single thing we face. They're not supposed to. But they do protect us in certain situations. And I just looked at him and I started laughing. And he's looking at me like I grew an extra head. And then he was afraid. But he never did try that again. And I never did have any problems. So, releasing your fear is going to be very important, especially when it comes to this situation. As I've talked about a lot on my channel lately, When somebody has a massive light inside of them, they also have a massive shadow as well. As big as that light is as big as that shadow is, and vice versa. When you run into somebody who is in extremely dark energy, as dark as that energy is, that light is as bright when it's turned on. It's kind of like on Vampire Diaries where they can turn on and off their feelings, but not really. But yeah, they can, but not really. Because they're still there to a certain degree. As above, so below. You could be having dreams about this situation, about your love life in some way. And you could really be feeling very held back or very attached to something in a somewhat toxic way. There's a need to free yourself of codependency. There's a need to feel like you are whole on your own. Like, there's a lot of people who believe their love partner is their other half. If they're their other half, then they're missing something when they're not around. Then they are not whole on their own. So there is a need to remember that you are whole on your own. There's something that's getting ready to be exposed that you have had intuitive nudgings about. Thank you for letting me know that. Because it is somewhat confusing as I'm reading it. Which means you're probably feeling a lot of confusion in this situation as well. There could be something to do with swimming here too. Or a swimming suit. Possibly even some sort of lingerie. Or something to do with your skin being exposed. Or something along those lines. There could be, when you get into relationships, you may actually cover up parts of yourself or pieces of yourself because you are afraid of losing the person and you feel like you need them in your life, but you were just fine before they got there. And you'll be just fine when they are gone. And so there is definitely a need to work on feeling whole on your own. Spiritual baths can help a lot as well. It helps to pull you out of the energy of others, and it helps to pull your energy back to you. Rose oil or petals, sage, the plant or the oil, lemon, orange, and lavender. Those are good plants to work with and oils to work with in your case. It'll also help with any kind of depression or any kind of feeling stuck or stagnant. It'll help you feel like you have a lot of energy, very vital, happiness, joy, optimism, hope. It'll help with all those things, but it'll also cleanse your energy and bring you peace and calm. And it'll also improve your relationships, not just your love relationships, but your friendships or your family relationships as well. Because you might be the type that finds yourself in a relationship and then you kind of really don't have many friends anymore. Or any people around you anymore. You might dedicate a little too much of your time, attention, and energy towards your partners. And you might pull a lot of it away from other people so that they don't leave you because kind of you feel like if you talk to other people of the opposite sex that your partner will be gone or something along those lines. And you know what, if you're not allowed to have friends of the opposite sex, that is an extremely toxic and codependent relationship. It is not emotionally cheating to have friendships. And when that partnership is gone, then you don't have anybody to lean on or rely on because everybody else was gone before that partnership was too. Not My Responsibility by Billie Eilish is a great one to listen to for you as well, because I feel like you might actually, and sometimes it's hard to have people in your life as well, especially if you have a lot of people that come in and just do awful things. Although that's where that forgiveness comes in too. That's probably why I was talking about the light and shadow in people too. And unconditionally loving people. And unconditionally loving people doesn't mean you need to stay with them or that you need them to exist or have a life of any kind. But it does mean that when people are willing to admit what they've done wrong, take accountability, and try to change and work on things and actually are serious about it, that that grudge isn't still there blocking connection. Shame and downcast. I really do feel like there is a lot of blaming yourself when it comes to certain things that have happened in your life instead of holding the other party responsible for things that have happened. But I also feel like this peace, harmony, and balance that you're creating in your life right now and the solid foundation you're working on having is going to create a lot of reasons in the near future for you to celebrate as well. Financial success, no longer bound. You have freed yourself. Abundance, hard work pays off, and breaking cycles. So it may also be something as well where you are needing the financial freedom to be able to feel comfortable and secure enough in yourself to have a connection with somebody. The Hermit and the Eight of Stakes, the Star, and the Magician. To be able to express yourself fully, you have to feel confident in yourself. There is a need to spend some time on your own so that you can dive into your own shadow and look at it. Acknowledge it for what it really is. And know that just because you have that shadow within you does not mean that all is lost. That shadow is a part of who you are. But when you acknowledge it, when you face it, and you work through the pain that goes with it, that shadow can be used as a strength in your light, in your life in some way. It's a strength that has been buried. Every light thing in this world has a shadow side, kind of like charisma and manipulation. They're the same thing. People see charisma as a good thing, and they see manipulation as a bad thing. But used in bad ways, charisma is manipulation. And used in good ways, manipulation is charisma. So whatever this shadow is, it has a light side too. And once you're able to face it and work through the trauma associated with it, it's kind of like when you manifest poverty into your life. You can manifest money into your life too. If you can manifest poverty, you can manifest financial success. But you may not be doing that because you may be feeling like you wouldn't be able to handle it, or you wouldn't be responsible with it. You may feel like you're a bad person in some way, or you may be feeling like you will never find a good love connection if you have that financial stability, because you may have ran into a lot of people who want you to be financially dependent on them in some way. You're very welcome for the advice. I am so sorry you're feeling afraid in those ways too. It's such a hard thing to do sometimes. But there is definitely a need here to express things, to take action in ways, and to manifest for yourself. To manifest a life that you're comfortable and happy in without other people in it, so that when other people come into it, they're not something that you need around. They're just something that you want. It's a bonus added on to the beauty that you already have in your life. Yes, it is a part of our journey. And you have been through so much on your own. You have dealt with so much on your own. You are capable of so much. And you have so much inner strength within you that it's ridiculous. Anything emotional that you are facing, you have the ability to do so on your own. Regardless of whether or not you have support, and regardless of whether or not you have anybody around you. And that's a beautiful thing. But it's also a beautiful thing to be able to reach out to others and let them into your world and show that vulnerability that you have. And to not feel like in some way they are going to dislike you because you're a sensitive person. The person who loves you fully is somebody who can understand that sensitivity, who can be there in those times, and who is not going to hate you for it. And vice versa. you wouldn't hate them for it, and you wouldn't feel like there was something wrong with them for needing to rely on somebody else or for expressing what's within them emotionally. Thank you so much for your purchase today as well. And if anybody else wants to be able to purchase or make a donation, you can find my payment options in the description box below. And really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for that. Thank you for any way that you guys support me on my channel. Anyway, you can pay and then just throw your question down there and I answer it between the collective readings. Whatever way you guys support me in this channel, though, I really appreciate you. Whether it be through those methods or through liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving timestamps on my other readings, or super chat stickers, super thanks, all that stuff. So, let's see what else the collective is needing to hear about their love life right now. You're very welcome. Thank you as well. I really appreciate you letting me know that too. And letting everyone else here know that. So, having patience with yourself in this time and having patience with the chaos that seems like is going on in your life at this moment. Having patience with others, with the way that they're reacting to certain situations in their life. Somebody may actually be like calling you a bit excessively or messaging you a bit excessively or going through some sort of insecurities that are causing them to behave in some erratic way. And you may be being asked to have some sort of compassion or empathy, if that's you or another person, because some of you are going through this too. Some of you have already went through this, and the person you're dealing with is going through it now. And some of you, the person that you are dealing with, has went through it in the past, and you might be going through it now. There's also a need to rely on yourself, to take care of yourself in this moment, to have self-respect and self-love, to also see and appreciate how hard you've worked and the success and abundance that is already currently around you because of this, the level of patience that you have already developed, everything that you've been able to handle and go through, and really being appreciative of that. Some of you may actually be getting, it's not everyone, but there is some people in the collective right now that are getting ready to lose someone that they love very dearly. And this could be somebody that you have been on the outs with for a while. Somebody that you have not been in as much communication with. This could have been somebody that was holding on to pride or had a hard time admitting where they've gone wrong or being accountable for their actions in some way. 33, don't let pride get in your way. And there's also past situations that may be similar to this in your life as well, where you have already learned from this experience. And it may be time to put those lessons you've learned into action as well. Respecting yourself does not require you to hurt others as well. So make sure that you remember that. There could be something that's getting ready to happen that could put you in a state of shock in some way. And it could really be very painful. Remember what you have already learned about dealing with those rough and harsh emotions and how capable you are of standing strong in those times. And that does not mean deny your emotions. That doesn't mean put a smile on your face every day, whether you're happy or not, and that will instantly make you happy. No, that means acknowledging your emotions and allowing yourself to feel them. Not being upset with yourself for feeling them, and not feeling like you're going to destroy your whole life for feeling your feelings. Feeling your feelings isn't what causes fuck ups in your life. What causes those fuck ups a lot of times is denying those feelings until they become so much that they overwhelm you and they come out in very bad ways. Feeling those emotions is not letting those emotions rule over you, but denying them, sometimes they end up ruling over you because of that. I hope it's not as well. Remembering that you're not a victim and it's a part of life to have these ups and downs is something that's going to help as well. Abracadabra bee. So the abracadabra bee part of this reminds me of Half-Baked, where he's supposed to say abracadabra when he's undercover in that room with that drug dealer to alert them to come in. So there could actually be something along those lines where something's being exposed that has been hidden, or where somebody ends up fucking up when they were supposed to come through for you in some way. Or it could be, it also reminds me of abracadabra, I want to reach out and grab you. So there could be somebody who has been in some way obsessing over you or your energy in some way as well. This person could have caused a lot of pain or trauma in your life in some sort of way, if that's the case. There's a lot of things getting ready to be exposed and seen, and some of these things are going to cause you pain, especially if it ends up being somebody that you never would have expected to be doing this. See? And then we worry and stress ourselves out so much before things happen when we were unsure of what it's going to be. And then we realize, oh, wait a second, it wasn't nearly as bad as my imagination made it out to be. Our imagination can really turn some things into the craziest situations, when in all actuality, they really weren't as bad as we thought they were going to be. It's amazing what we can do to ourselves just with our imaginations, right? So, there is definitely a power couple getting ready to happen for a lot of the collective as well. We're being asked to have patience at this time because everybody's masks are coming off and everybody is freeing themselves from the dark night of the soul. Everybody is really working through a lot of darkness to find that light again, to turn that light on within them again. Someone at some point had a lot of hate for women. A lot of hate for women. Holy shit, a lot of hate for women. And this person wanted to destroy me. And I was like, you know what? Go right ahead and do it. Take me out of this world. I don't really care. But I really don't think that you want to. I don't think you want to hurt me in any way. I think that you have been severely hurt by somebody in the past. And you have blamed the entire population of women for this hurt and this pain that you went through. But I'm not that woman. And I've been through a lot of hurt and pain from men around me. I could blame the entire population of men, but I don't. I've also been hurt by a lot of women around me. I could blame the entire population of women, but I don't. Because it wasn't the entire population of women or men that did that. It was that person. Pretty much every ounce of hatred for women just disappeared out of that person. It's amazing sometimes the impact that your voice can have, or your non-voice, because that was a telepathic conversation we were having. Which sounds fucking crazy, but it was. I told my ex at one point that the reason I stopped him, we were in the kitchen one time and he had his hands on me. He was holding me up to his face, screaming at me. And then he pulled his one hand back and he was clenching his fist like he was going to punch me. My baby daddy. My husband for 10 years. And he had blacked out. I watched his eyes shift. He had blacked out. He had left the scene because of the amount of anger he was feeling. And he was sober, completely and totally sober. I put my hands on my chest and I pushed myself back. And I put a little space between us after I broke free of his hold. And I looked him dead in the eyes. And I was like, if you lay one motherfucking hand on me ever again, you will never see me again. Because that's the one abuse that I have not endured in my life, and I won't be going through it anytime soon. And I watched his eyes shift back, and he came out of that blackout. And then I went in our bathroom, and I kicked the bathroom door down. I came to about 3/4 of the way through kicking it down. I was so angry, and I was vibrating. There was no way I was starting that situation up again, though. I came to about 3/4 of the way through kicking down the bathroom door, and I was like, oh no, this point needs to be driven home. I need to take this door the rest of the way out. And as he was whining about how he's going to fix the door and make it look like that never happened afterwards, I was like, at least I took my fucking anger out on the inanimate objects around me instead of the people and fucking animals that I love. Do you realize that if you hit me one time in the wrong spot, right on the corner of my chin right here, you could fucking kill me. You could break my neck in one hit. You are 3 times my size. And to think you're whining about the bathroom door right now. But I told him later that I stopped him not only for myself, because of course there was that, but also because I knew that he didn't want to be that monster, and I didn't want to see him become that monster. That was his dad that was coming out in him. The only times he had blacked out and done something like that in the past had been in defense of women. But apparently I brought out the side of him that made him want to hurt a woman. No, I did not deserve that in any way, shape, or form. And at the same time, the child him did not deserve to be singled out and targeted by his father and endure the majority of his father's abuse physically either. But his mother, she was his favorite. He was perfect in her eyes, could do no wrong. And most of the time that was simply because he never asked for anything, which is really fucking sad, because now he doesn't feel like he can ask for anything, or else he's not a perfect person. He can't want anything, and he can't just be himself because, everybody would turn away from him. But that's kind of how his family works anyway, is if you are yourself and you do certain things, they will turn away from you, and they don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. So, at the same time, that doesn't excuse his own behavior. He is responsible for his own behavior. He could have went and got the help that he needed. He had the chances, and he chose not to. He could have even accepted the help I was trying to bring and chose not to. So there is a need to guard your energy as well. And also to take accountability when it comes to your energy being drained. Because the only person who can make the decisions you make to be in certain situations, or even to do far more for people than you should be doing for people, is you. So setting healthy boundaries and letting people know what's acceptable and what is not acceptable, how much you can do and how much you can't do, and still taking care of yourself when you get into connections, instead of throwing everything you are into the other person and then blaming them because you're drained, is something that we all need to remember we do have control over. We were the ones who chose to do as much as we did until we were so drained that we couldn't even function. Exactly. So no harm comes to us. And when it comes to people, the general population of people, each and every person, opportunists, if there's an opportunity, a lot of times they're going to jump on it. And if you told them it was okay, then they're going to take you up on that. You didn't even give them a chance to do the right thing by you because you didn't tell them that what they were doing was the wrong thing. Believing in magic as well. So your love connection is right behind this door of believing in magic. This entire world tells us not to believe in magic. This entire world tells us magic is silly, it's nonsense, it's fairy tales, it doesn't really happen. There's no such thing. So it is really hard when you come into this spiritual realm of believing and thinking and acting to realize that, yeah, there is real magic around us every day. Real magic. There's breadcrumbs left for us to follow in movies and books where people have told their stories, but they've told them as fiction because, you know, they'd be in trouble if they told them and claimed that they were real, especially if they couldn't prove it. But there really is magic. And that magic is inside of you too. And we've also been led to believe that magic is evil. Especially if we grew up in Christian religions or anything even near associated to Christian religions in any way. We've been led to believe that it's evil. Also, we generally are afraid of those that we come into contact with that have those same gifts and abilities that we do, because we've been led to believe that it's evil. So until we heal that within ourselves and love ourselves as we are, we will not be able to love whoever it is that we're meant to be with that has that same magic within themselves that we may fear or find to be evil. It's just as capable as being good as it is evil, like we've talked about with the light and the shadow. They can act in their shadow and they can act in their light, just like you can act in your shadow and you can act in your light. There's been a lot of times that people have been pissed off that they have done stupid things, whether that be physically or with their magic or mentally or emotionally. Have you ever been pissed off in your life? Because if you say no, I know you're lying. Where you have acted in a way that was not good. Because I have. Those are those things that happen that we learn from, that we grow from, that we gain that patience from. Glamour magic just came into my mind too, for some reason. Kind of like forcing somebody to wear rose-colored glasses. Somebody was actually telling me this morning that he tried to force me to be his friend and not just his friend's girlfriend. And I was like, yeah, there's been a lot of people who have tried to do things like that with my energy. And what they don't realize is I'm there because I want to be. And when I choose to move away from it, I do that because I want to as well. And a lot of times to them, it's like a cold shower because then they realize that whatever they were doing was not working. That it never did. And that they actually lost a real friendship by trying to control and manipulate the situation. Exactly. And if we only see the good in others, that's not a great thing either. And it's not that I don't see the darkness in others, but I can see the tiniest speck of light in somebody, which can be not good sometimes too. But at the same time, I'm meant to. I don't hate that part of myself because I'm meant to. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing every day if it wasn't for that. Clown downtown. So yeah, I really do feel like somebody's being exposed as well. The collective has really dealt with a lot of people that have been playing games. A lot of people that have just been acting like clowns and, you know, not really treating you right. And because of these people, you have learned, you have grown, you have started respecting yourself, nurturing yourself, caring for yourself, loving yourself in the ways that you should have been. You have started protecting yourself. Your inner child thanks you for all this hard work that you have done, because no longer are you willing to deal with the clown or give them all your time and your energy and your effort. Somebody could have definitely created a hall of illusions for you in some sort of way. Phantom of the Opera is coming to mind. Phantom of the Opera is here inside my mind. So somebody could have been really doing a lot of mind games, really tapping in to your mind in some way, maybe even planting thoughts in some way, or trying to manipulate or control your energy in some way. And I really honestly feel like the majority of you actually saw this, called them on it. And then when things ended and they thought that they had hurt you, you were able to move away from it because you knew that this was something that wasn't going to last. And you were just enjoying what time you had together while you had it together and hoping that this person didn't choose to act in their shadow side towards you to sabotage things. Yeah, Truman Show, definitely. Yeah, I can relate to that very fully. Very fully. And actually, there's been a couple people that have said things to me like having a camera in their bathroom or some shit. And I'm like, you know what? With everything I've fucking dealt with, that does not make me feel comfortable at all that you just said that. And it's not okay that you just said that. Unless it's true. And then it's still not okay. And I've also been dealing with the guy I'm seeing currently. With where he's at right now, he doesn't have a whole lot of power. And he's feeling very disconnected. And nobody is, except for me, nobody's answering his phone calls. Everybody has pretty much just walked away, which is generally what tends to happen when you are, say, involved in drug situations with people and the cops get involved and shit. Everybody tends to walk away. Nobody's there for you. Nobody that you've been there for is there for you because none of them want to be around that. None of them want to be involved in that. None of them want to be seen as that. And so they do disappear. Like they never even cared. Including his own mom, which is really sad. So he's been calling me a lot. In case you guys didn't notice, he's called me 3 times since we've been doing this. This person's getting ready to be exposed. So for the ones that were dealing with those types of situations, that's what this abracadabra bee card is about too, is this person's getting ready to be exposed for who they are. There may be some sort of setup or somebody could have been watching them for some time now. Some of the things that they did to you are being done to them at this current moment. But things are getting ready to be seen. Things that have been hidden beneath the depths are getting ready to be seen and exposed, and everything's getting ready to be lit up. Nice. So Gemini is out here as well. Any kind of two-faced energy that was going on. This person could have done a lot of gossiping about you as well. This person also could be extremely intelligent. This person may actually be somebody that nobody would ever really expect to be doing something like that because they could have a job in some place that is like a government sector, or they could have a job in, they could have even been in the military at some point, or they could work for like the IRS, or they could be like a postal worker. I don't know. Either way, they have some sort, maybe even a doctor or a nurse. They have some sort of job that is like respectable. They have a lot of respect from people in general. But people don't really know that other side of them. And that other side of them is going to be being seen in some way. Some of them may actually even be caught on camera doing something. They are cold and calculating. They will pinpoint your weaknesses and use them against you. They target others with high emotions. Know any robots? Ones who do this? They just might be using you as a scapegoat. So, 44 is on the screen. Somebody could actually be using you as an excuse for the way they're behaving or the things they're doing, or they could be trying to blackmail you or in some way set you up for something that they have done. Or this is something that has happened in the past. And this is a cycle that needs to close out and be exposed fully, to where you see everything, to where your perceptions and viewpoints are going to shift and change. There's going to be a massive change within you. And that's what's also going to be calling in a much better love connection for you. This actually sounds like the person I dealt with for about a month, month and a half before the person I'm with now, this last year. He had a lot of similar qualities to a lot of the people over the last couple of years, honestly. But this one was like extra, extra. Extra, extra, read all about it. And once again, with that shadow side and light side. What's funny is this one actually kind of reminds me of when I was younger. And a lot of my drawings, I would put on there somewhere in the drawing, aka the sweetest little angel from hell, because I really kind of felt like Earth was fucking hell. I was the sweetest little angel in hell. Amazing the darkness that was surrounding me with all this light, but at the same time I have my own darkness within me too. Everyone does. Yeah, he's about ready to exactly get a divine ass whooping. A divine ass whooping. A lot of people are getting that right now. A lot of people I've dealt with that have done me dirty in some way are experiencing a lot of... I don't like watching it, though. Honestly, I don't enjoy it a whole lot. I really don't. It's painful. Whether it's my responsibility to carry or my burden to bear or not, it doesn't matter. And whether or not they chose the actions they chose, it doesn't matter. I still don't like seeing it. And honestly, I was rooting for each one of them to choose their light side in that moment because they had that choice. It doesn't matter how far gone somebody is. Everybody has a choice still in what side they choose to be in. And if I didn't believe in that, then I wouldn't be able to do some of the things that I do in this world. Fear pulls you from me. 44 is on the screen again. So there could definitely be fear. Fear of this person being the same as the last person you dealt with. Or fear of this person's actions and what they could do with the gifts that they have, like we were discussing earlier. You have those same gifts too. Are you afraid of what you can do? Because if you're afraid of what others can do with those gifts, then you might be afraid of your own too. And you may not be using them as fully as you could be to their fullest potential because of that fear. So, my love for you is unconditional, even when you're irrational. My love for you is consistent, even when you want to quit it. It's hard for me to stand so strong. As you figure out, it takes so long. My heartbeat races when you are near, a distant drumming echoing fear. I want to speak so badly to you. Do you feel this same need too? When I hear you, I think I see the same in you as is in me. I hope the waterfall comes crashing down. In your feelings, I would happily drown. I can hold your head in my lap, even if you're opposed to sap. Please, my love, come to me. Please, my love, set yourself free. 1:30:18. Exactly. And sometimes there's nothing you can do. But sometimes when you tell people about those things, it does create changes and shifts because it is all in what we decide to do. The future is not set in stone. It's very changeable. It's very malleable. It's all dependent on the actions we choose to take in our day-to-day life once we know what it could cause. There was a time where I dreamt about my ex-husband, and in this dream, I woke up and he was tying my hands. And I looked at him and I was like, what is so awful that you feel the need to do this to me? And he just stopped, like a defeated energy entered him, and he just stopped and he pulled back and let go of the rope and just sat there. And I hopped up and I ran out of my room and out of the house, the front door of the house, and his best friend, the one that he invited into our relationship that we had been having a relationship with for 3 years, was sitting in the car with his son and our 2 kids, and there was a trailer attached to it that was packed up with a bunch of stuff. The car was different than the car that he had at that time. Instead of being his little red car, it was a little blue car. And I told my ex-husband about this dream, and 2 weeks later his friend came over in his new car, because at that point that relationship had split up, and me and my ex-husband were still trying to fix our relationship. And he came over in that same blue car from that dream. If I hadn't have told my ex-husband about that, would they have done that? Who knows? Because there have been times where my dreams like that have actually came true. And considering the fact that he had that same car from that dream, definitely could have been something that could have happened if I wouldn't have exposed it and expressed it. But even when I turned around and looked at him in that dream and asked him that question, it's like he completely gave up in that moment because he felt so bad about what he was doing. And he didn't even want to do it anymore. Hidden depths beneath the twilight. Boy, this one's really messed up, isn't it? Buried beneath the ocean blue, looking for the side of you. For some reason, Dexter just entered my mind. So, buried beneath the ocean blue, looking for the side of you. Face the shadow, find the light. Let hope fill you at the sight. From the murky depths, release the past. Discard the remaining pain at last. Let faith and hope fill you full. Don't disregard the pull. Listen to what the stars say to you. The messages they send are true. Destiny calls you today for you to co-create your way. 12/28/19. Be at one with the stillness of the night. Connect to your intuition. Every darkness has a light. It is a balance. Sometimes you just have to look deeper to see it. Wow, that plane is the loudest plane that I've ever heard, I think. That was a loud plane. It's still going in the background. Exactly. That's what I feel like too. I also feel like there's going to be something about a serial killer coming out in the near future. Not just me, but I feel like there is people in this collective that have met and come across them as well. For some of you, you could be looking more into star seeds as well. You could even feel like you have ran into people that are not from here in some way. There was something about Palladians that came out in yesterday's reading as well. Arcturians and Draconians are coming to mind too right now. And I realize most people think that Draconians are literally just evil. But then again, how many people are evil simply because people believe they are? There was a kid at the gas station that was working there at one point, and he was gay, like flamboyantly gay, really fucking gay. And his mom had stuck him through conversion therapy twice until his grandma finally adopted him. She's like, fuck no, you're not doing that to him again. And she ended up adopting him. And so he believed he was evil. He was the sweetest fucking kid ever, and he believed he was evil. But because he believes he's evil, how much evil is he going to do to this world? Just look at Jeffrey Dahmer. Maybe if his parents weren't such fucking religious nuts, he might not have became who he was. Maybe if all the people in his school wouldn't have been so opposed to gay people and hated them as much as they did, because in that day and age they did. They fucking hated gay people. And they thought they were the scourge of the earth. A plague that needed to be uprooted, killed, and destroyed from the planet. I wonder why he killed so many gay people. And also never had a real relationship with anybody because, you know, he can't be gay. Anybody that he had sex with, he killed pretty much. Wonder why. Exactly. It all stems from childhood. There was a lot of serial killers, some of the most prolific serial killers. They all came from the 40s and 50s. There was a massive religious uptick at that time in history where everybody was going fucking insane over religion. And a lot of them had very abusive religious people in their life. So, a lot of you right now are stepping more fully into your power, into your confidence, not seeing yourselves as the problem when it comes to people loving you or wanting to have sex with you or wanting more from you than what you feel for them or what you can give to them. You're being more firm in your boundaries. You are really taking charge of your world and your life. You may be going out more, having fun more, wearing what you want to wear more, and just being yourself more. And all of this is also adding into creating a good relationship for yourself. Not feeling like you have to be perfect as well, and accepting that you're still on a journey learning, and that some of the things you've done in your past you may not be proud of, but those things are why you're where you are today and who you are today. Accepting those more fully and being okay with them. Being okay with your own shadow side is allowing you to be more okay with other people's shadow sides as well. When somebody's extremely self-righteous, a lot of the times that's because they do not accept themselves at the core. Their wants, their desires, who they are, that they are suppressing from the world, things like that. Others openly bullied you. They tried to make you feel completely alone in a cruel world. One or two may have hoped that you would commit suicide to solve their problem. You. Don't let them win. Stay here and succeed, because it will eat them alive. You can ask your question anytime, beautiful. Send payment this way and then throw your question below, and I will answer it between the collective messages. Right now, there's nobody in line in front of you either. But I'm only going to be on here for about 15 more minutes today. And then I got to take care of some extra things. So, the Hanged Man, the Ace of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. Once again, this delay or stagnation, this pause, this separation that you may be going through with someone. This situation where everything seems upside down or chaotic in some way, and everything's kind of out of your control, is allowing you to be able to see things from a new perspective. It's allowing you to be able to see things from the shoes of another, possibly too. Like my person right now is being able to see things from my shoes in about November and December, because there was a lot going on that really sucked, and he lied about it. And I told him I knew he was lying, and I was going to be patient for him to come forward with the truth, but patience was only going to last so long. And then he got locked up right after that. And so now he's worried about how long my patience is going to last and if it's going to last till he gets out of there so he can talk to me. And he's also worried about the fact that last week things went a little bit further with somebody than they should have. And I ended up stopping it. Thank you, beautiful. I can understand feeling that way. There was somebody with a disabled child recently that, yeah, I don't really want to discuss that one on here just yet, but I didn't like her energy at all. It was bad. And I really don't feel like that child should be there, but there's not like any proof or anything like that for my feelings. I mean, my feelings are my feelings, you know? And those particular people are not people that I want to be around to find the proof. That's one instance where it felt like, yeah, you don't want to be around this, period. It reminded me of that Snow White and Prince moment, too, where they could have saved their daughter in that moment and chose not to because of who she was supposed to become. But anyway, so I stopped what was going on and I was like, you know what? You're a good guy and you deserve to have somebody who's here with you and thinking about only you. Just like I deserve to have somebody who's here with me thinking about only me. And we're both thinking about somebody else. He's like, I'm not thinking about somebody else. I was like, yes, you are. Even if you and your woman are not really, they're still together, but she can't have sex because of medical reasons. And they have no intimacy or friendship really even left in their connection. And he's been considering leaving it. But yeah, you're still there and you're still thinking about that person. I'm still thinking about this person. That's the only thing that's consuming my mind right now. And neither one of us deserves that. I don't want to be second to anyone anymore. And I don't want to place anybody second either. And so I let him know, and I also let him know that we both wanted to still be friends because it is a good friendship. Although that friendship has been pretty messed up because of that situation too at this point. So while he's sitting there, he's having to realize what I went through a couple months ago with him. Because there was something for him too that had happened that was similar to that. And at this point, he has made his decision. But that doesn't mean I'll make the same decision I have for the last couple months, you know? So he's kind of worried about that. So I feel like the love that you are both starting to build for yourself is really going to allow you to love the other in a very unconditional way. Trust is needing to be built in situations, and respect is needing to be earned in situations. And also this love that you're building for yourselves is allowing you to no longer do things just to please the other person, but to do things because that's what you actually want to do. To break yourself free of any kind of codependent energy. This journey has been one that is very slow, but it is also one that is testing commitment as well. Once you find a situation that is worth committing to, regardless of what may be going on, that's the situation for you. You're okay, beautiful. Trust me, I have definitely dealt with far heavier. I have been doing this for most of my life. At 15 years old, I talked to somebody from Haiti who was raped by an uncle. And when you get raped somewhere like that, you are now disgusting. You are somebody who has been tarnished. You are somebody that is not protected in any way. You are blamed. It is your fault that this happened to you. And then you're free game to everybody else around you that's male. And so she was not only raped by her uncle, but several other of her family members after that, and other men as well. And not to mention, when I was in that group home I was staying in around the same time, I listened to the stories of the 12 other women or girls that were in that home as well. I've listened to a lot of stories, and I have learned over the years how not to carry them on my shoulders and to make them my own. To be there to help where I can, to guide, to lead, to advise where I can. And I've studied a lot so that I can provide the best advice that I can in those situations, not to mention my own situations that I've gone through as well. So I don't carry those with me on my shoulders like that. So don't feel like you need to apologize for expressing and sharing your story with me. Your story is your story, and you need to be able to express it. It will help you to heal more, and it will help other people around you to heal more. It will not destroy people to share your story. It will help people to heal. Some people carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, but that is their choice. And that is still not your responsibility that they chose to carry it on their shoulders. Yes, healing these energies of feeling alone, feeling left out in the cold, feeling not worthy, not valuable, feeling like you lost everything in the past, feeling like nothing good could ever happen again because what you wanted is behind you. But what you wanted isn't behind you. What you want is in front of you. And there's so much beauty to be had in front of you. There's peace that can be made. Harmony, friendship, joy, love, laughter, and light that can be had in the future. You're welcome, beautiful. I am so glad that you were here today. And this is going to come when you love yourself enough to go after what it is that you truly want. What inspires you, what motivates you, what makes you feel lit up and full of life. What makes you feel like you would travel to the ends of the earth to make it happen? And then not being ashamed of what it is that you want. Not feeling guilty of what it is that you want. Or of accepting the full darkness of what's standing in front of you as well. And still being able to see that light and that beauty. And to be able to trust in that light and that beauty. After all that darkness, after all that pain, that sadness and that misery. What is it that moves you? It also could have to do with accepting what you enjoy sexually as well for some of you. What it is that you enjoy doing in the bedroom. What it is that your partner enjoys doing in the bedroom, and then not fearing yourself or this other person because of what it is that you enjoy. And because you are enjoying those things between each other in a safe place where you can express those energies. Have you ever watched cats have sex? Just saying, because wow. When you're looking at it from the outside, all you can say is rape. Whoa, rape. That's what they're doing. But then, if the female actually gets away from the male, she walks back over there and starts strutting her butt in front of him and moving her hips in front of him and, getting him all riled up again, and then he attacks her again. And they do that until they culminate. So, you and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Getting horny now. Exactly right. There is nothing wrong with what you want to do in your bedroom between two consenting adults. So don't ever feel like there is. I'll put it this way. My ex-husband was fine with what we did in our bedroom between us until, we invited his friend in, and his friend saw a bit of it. One of the 2 times that we were all together. And it made him feel, because his friend judged it, it made him feel judgment for himself. What was your question, Leia? Go ahead and throw it down there anytime, sweetheart. I am getting ready to get off for the day. So I'm going to do a closeout message. And if you have your message or if you have your question up there before I'm finished with it, then I will answer it. You will be going after what you want for you. You are no longer concerned with the thoughts or the opinions of others. Do you know what my mom would say right now if I discussed the fact that I am dating somebody who is sitting in county lockup right now? Especially considering his original charge in Payette had to do with meth. She definitely would not be supportive of that in any way, shape, or form. Most people wouldn't. But I don't give a flying fuck. Not anymore. It's my life. And I'm going to do what makes me happy in my life. And I'm going to do what I feel is right in my life, not what other people want me to do. Abundance and fertility will be found all around you. You will be living a life that you are passionate about. And you will be able to smell the roses because of it. You are leading others through your example, and those roses have thorns on them. But it doesn't matter because they still smell just as sweet. They still look just as beautiful. They still are just as amazing. They have amazing healing abilities too. You are leading others through your example and your inspiration. With great power comes great responsibility, and you take this very seriously. Contract severed. Lies revealed. No more waiting for the other shoe to drop. Word has spread. You will come to no harm. This song, Protector, is coming to mind. You are safe spiritually and physically. Live your life. It's too short to waste. Remember what fun is and start to have some again. I'll be your protector. I should listen to that song again today. I really like that song. But yeah, it's time now to have fun and to live your life and to feel good and to do what's right for you and best for you. And it doesn't matter what anybody else is thinking about what you're doing or how you're doing it. And even if you make the choice to do a specific thing right now, you can decide later to change your mind and to do something else. Because that happens sometimes. Sometimes you're still looking for the clarity and truth. And when it happens that you find it, that's when you can make a more informed decision on it. I am with you in the wind. By the way, the wind is blowing like crazy right now too. That's why I'm holding these down. I am with you in the wind. I am here and you are never alone. Remember my hugs, my songs, and my love. It is still with you and in you. Spread that love wherever you go into this world. You are a beacon of hope and light, just as I was to you. Don't take this responsibility lightly. That friend that I was talking to this morning that said what he said about trying to force me to be his friend, basically. He was also talking about the other guy that I had that thing with last week. And he was like, that's one of those people that I can see coming from a mile away. We were about half a mile away from the store in town, and he's like, if he was pulling out of that parking lot right now, I'd be able to be, oh, hey, there he is, right there. And sure enough, when I got up there, he would be the one standing there. He's like, because he is a beacon. He is a light in this world. And that guy can see that light. I was like, so kind of like me. And he's like, yeah, but not nearly as strong or powerful. I didn't even, I never would have compared the two, never would have thought that I was a stronger light in any way. But that was his response to that. Which is also why he told me recently when I got the new vehicle that I got, he's like, make sure, there's going to be a lot of people coming out of the woodworks that are going to be wanting rides everywhere. Make sure that you're not just taking them everywhere, that you're asking for gas money if they're going to be doing that. And I was like, oh, I will. Trust me, I will. but he also wants to make sure that I'm not being taken advantage of. And that's a lot of where you guys have been learning to put your foot down and to not allow yourselves to be taken advantage of. And in the work that you're going to be being expected to do, especially in this partnership that you're dealing with, it is going to come with a lot of being able to put your foot down, set your boundaries appropriately, and being able to deal with people that most people would be telling you there is no hope for. There is no light within, and there is no reason you should ever be associating with them. Because that's what we're here to do. Light workers are not here to heal light. We're here to heal darkness. We are not here to heal people who have never been hurt in their life. We are not here to heal people who are not hurting people. Because hurt people are hurting people. So we are here to heal those who are hurt. And their vibrations are low. Their vibrations aren't high if we're here to heal them. Their vibrations are low. So, Leia, what is the lesson for you at your current job to move on to a healthy environment that I am happy in? I am impatient to leave. So, at your current job, what is the lesson here? I'm going to grab these two. I sometimes find it hard to connect intimately and emotionally with others. Past scars from neglect and heartbreak have been caused by blind love. It causes me to hold back. I accept this part of myself, the part that loves everyone. I accept this part of myself, the part that is considered emotionally unavailable to others. The part that isn't able to open up to people, the part that isn't able to be vulnerable or sensitive around others, the part that isn't able to express your hurt when you're feeling it, or to let anybody in on the problems that are going on. The part that others cling to because their insecurities are triggered by my heart protection mode. Damn it, mirror. Shattering over here. Healing heartbreak by acknowledging the love of a person who has hurt me immensely, and forgiveness of those crimes as seen in a different light by the eyes of another hurt person will allow me to be able to move forward. The only way to heal is a glance in the mirror without denial or self-hate, and also seeing others around you as a mirror and healing the hate that I have for others. So the biggest lesson in this moment is to heal that hate that you have for yourself or for others, for inability to express emotions, or inability to express problems, or an inability to show kindness or love or empathy in certain situations, an inability to connect to people, a robotic-like energy within yourself or others. Unlocked doors. Open up to the new. No more time to feel so blue. Change the music that you feel. It's time now to let go and heal. Crazy times lie ahead. No more time to lie in bed. Get up, get dressed, get outside. So many tears you have cried. You're ready for something. You are ready for something. The rest is really up to... Oh, you're ready for something new. Okay, I knew it should have said new there, but I didn't write it. You're ready for something new. The rest is really up to you. Take the road of far too few. You can bring yourself back out. I don't have any doubt. Pills and potions ain't the way. Natural herbs, meditate and pray. Sunshine daisies dance in the rain. Only this will soothe your pain. New doors will be unlocked once your heart is no longer blocked. You may want to go back and watch the very beginning of this reading too, like the first 20 minutes to a half hour. 7:27:22. Yes, and so your boss could be very cold and unfeeling. They could be somebody that really seems like they have no desire to get involved in drama or chaos. Even if that means that people are getting hurt because they're turning a blind eye. And so you really need to look inside yourself for areas that you might be doing the same thing. areas where you might be cold towards certain people because you don't want to be involved in their problems or the chaos around them, where you may have cut off people because they made your life more difficult. If you're feeling like your boss is very selfish, you might want to look inside yourself for any of those things. And yes, mirror, I hear it, okay? I am needing to look at certain situations in my own life for the same reason. The courage to be able to face this pain, and the courage to be able to pull the sword out of your own heart where you keep on pushing it. To end this cycle of turning away, of closing your eyes to certain things, of hiding away from certain things and certain emotions or feelings, and starting to address things with courage and stability, knowing that you have the strength inside of you to face anything that comes your way and to be able to overcome it. Ending this cycle of being very emotionally withdrawn, of not allowing your emotions to get involved in situations, and of detaching yourself from situations out of fear or pain, or maybe even not wanting to express your pain. Exactly. And see, that energy that you have for your boss might actually be mirrored by your boss. Your boss may be feeling like you create problems, all because you are trying to expose problems that are going on around you or address issues that are going on around you, but they don't want to get involved in those things. And so they may be thinking that you're the one who creates problems. So your boss may be bringing up things that are bothering them and issues that are going on, and you could be feeling like they're creating problems when those problems are already there. They're just wanting to discuss them or wanting to try to fix them, and they may not be going about it in the right way either. Yes. In a very reciprocal way. Yes, gaslighting and scapegoating. So, healing, allowing yourself to feel the emotions you feel and express those emotions. Also, not allowing those emotions to get so big that you lash out at everybody around you, creating that drama that you don't like other people creating. Being able to handle things when they come your way. And also being able to defend yourself as well. Being able to defend yourself before it becomes such a big problem that it ends up escalating into something bigger. Being able to cry is going to be very healthy for you. And also taking a shower, and as you shower, allow the water to run down you and allow it to run all the negative energy that may be clinging to you off of you and down the drain. As it does, feel all of your muscles relaxing and allow yourself to find peace and calm. Call back all your energy to you and protect that energy. And this is going to allow you to be in your own energy. It's going to allow you to be feeling your own feelings, and it's going to allow you to release anything from anyone else that you may be carrying around with you. And it's also going to allow you to not feel so much like other people having a problem causes you problems, because you're not going to be carrying those problems around on your shoulders like they're your burdens to bear anymore. I can understand wanting your boss to fuck off. I was actually discussing with somebody last night at the dollar store in the Maverick here. I don't know what the hell their problem is. But when they have employees and they have people who call in and they're trying to call people in and they don't answer their phone because they don't want to be emotionally manipulated or pushed to come in, even though they don't want to come in, or even though they're not feeling good that day, they got to go in and cover for this person because for some reason they always got to go in. When they don't answer their phone, they will go to their house or their car if they live in their car, and they will harass them there. And I was telling this person, I was like, if my fucking boss came to my fucking house, after I didn't answer their phone call or after I told them I wasn't coming in, I would be fucking livid. I would be livid. And I would tell them that they could shove it up their fucking ass and they could find a new employee, because that is so fucking disrespectful to me. I don't understand that. That is not okay. That is harassment. And that is not okay. And do you know how much fucking stress that probably induces in that person's life? That is not okay. And I'd be telling them to shove it up their ass and looking for a different job. But so many people are so convinced that they wouldn't be able to find one that they're willing to accept and put up with that bullshit. And that is abusive. It's abusive of their power, if you ask me. Exactly. And you know what? It doesn't take a priest or a pastor to create holy water if you are that religion. That water, all you have to do is pray over it and ask it to be blessed, and it will be. You have the power within you to be able to bless that water. I watched this experiment one time with rice, and basically they took this one bowl of rice and they yelled at it all day, every day. They yelled at it and told it how worthless it was, and how disgusting it was, and how awful it was, and how horrible it was. They left this other bowl of rice in a dark corner and never talked to it, never looked at it, never had anything to do with it. And then this other rice, they told this rice how much they loved it, how beautiful it was, how amazing it was, how they couldn't live without it, how it was the best thing ever. And at the end of this experiment, I think it was like a month-long experiment, the love rice was almost okay. You almost could have ate that. You could have ate around certain spots and you would have been just fine. The hate rice that they yelled at all day, every day, was fucked up. It was bad. It was disgusting. There was mold all over it. It was awful. But it was nowhere near as bad as the neglect rice. The neglect rice was the worst rice out of every rice every time they did that experiment. It's amazing that neglect can actually be worse than somebody in your face screaming at you. But then again, somebody cares about you enough to be standing there screaming at you, right? So somehow that's better than no one at all. That's been a lot of what my life has been, is no one at all. And a lot of it has been the yelling. Then there's been the sexual abuse too. Hi, Tori. Nice to see you, beautiful. Thank you, Leia. Yeah. And that's the thing. Well, be grateful you don't have that boss. Fuck. At least you can be grateful that it isn't worse than it is. Because, yes, there are some bosses that actually will do that. I was talking about Robin Williams the other day, and Robin Williams just popped up on my screen. I don't know why, but I felt like I needed to mention that now. I was telling somebody the other night that no wonder Robin Williams killed himself. Because, alone is a very dark darkness. It really does make a difference, Moonlight. Even just praying over your meal before you eat can make the biggest difference in the world. Asking for that meal to provide you nourishment and sustenance. Sometimes we cannot afford the best things to eat. And sometimes we have to make do with whatever is in front of us, no matter how bad it may be for us. And if we're sitting there believing it's going to be bad for us and that it's not going to nourish us in any way, that's what we manifest. But if we're going to believe that this meal here is going to fill us up and it's going to nourish us and it's going to bring us what we need and it's going to make us feel good, and we pray over it and ask that it does, it's amazing what that food can do compared to when we are talking about how bad it is. Kind of like the rice experiment. So, thank you guys so much for being here today. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for the donations, the purchases. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, or anything else you do to support this channel or my other one. 4455 was just on the screen too. These transformations and changes are getting ready to bring in such a beautiful world for you, created on such a solid foundation, guys. And you're just going to be able to celebrate everything in front of you. You may not see it right now, but you will soon. Thank you guys for being here again, and I will see you next time. I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day. You're welcome, beautiful. And thank you, Tori. You know what? I can stay on for one more question. And then we'll call it good for the day. Mostly because I could really use some gas money for the person going to move my trailer. And so it's there a day later than it's supposed to be. And that way we can move it tonight. Love you too, sweetheart. Thank you. I am so grateful that you decided to come in and purchase a question today too. Sounds good. So, I did mix up my messages from the reading today, so if I pull one of those, one might actually come out again. You got a lot of luck and abundance coming your way. A lot of luck and abundance coming your way. Because you've decided to break out of your comfort zone and your shell. Awesome. Thank you, sweetheart. You got a lot of abundance coming your way, a lot of luck coming your way as well, because you've deciding to break out of your shell and leave your comfort zone. I pulled these before you even got back. You've been bringing out that inner child in you again. So what is your question, beautiful? Ooh. You may be being very tight-lipped about certain things that you've been doing, but you might be being asked to open up more about them. Thank you. Possibly even things that you have found out about the community you live in. Crossing the finish line. So, how do you follow your heart more in this moment? Singing is going to be really good for you. If there were any songs when you were a child that you really loved or you sang a lot, especially if it came to like songs for games, like jump roping songs, singing those songs is going to fill you with a certain type of energy. And this energy is going to bring you a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, a lot of optimism. It's going to make you feel very young-hearted again. Like, oh, there's so many of them coming into my mind right now. Cinderella, dressed in yellow, went upstairs to kiss her fella. Made a mistake and kissed a steak. How many doctors did it take? Or, judge, mama's gonna have a baby. Wrap it up in toilet paper, send it down the elevator. What will it be? Boy, girl, twins, or alien? And then, what are the other songs that came to my mind? The one that always comes to my mind for my personal experience is Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun. Please shine down on, please shine down on, please shine down on me. That song always makes me feel better. I don't know why. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You may even be being asked to sing more on your channel as well, which can be an extremely anxiety making thing to do, because I used to really have a hard time doing it. I had an easier time doing it on here than in public, though, I'll say that much, which is funny because there's more people who watch me in here than there would be in public. There could definitely be something that's going on in your community or in your city as well that has caused you a lot of pain or sadness that you're needing to open up about and express. You may even be needing to show your tears as well in some sort of public way. A couple years ago, I was kind of forced into that by the universe. 47 is on the screen right now. Agent 47 is coming to mind. You could have dealt with somebody that was extremely manipulative. This person could have actually been, this could be like a situation where you've been being harassed by someone repeatedly. And this same someone that has been harassing you for certain things you've been doing has been completely ignoring or overlooking the things that other people have been doing that are far worse than what you've been doing. If you've even been doing anything wrong, it's like letting the people who've been doing something wrong off scot-free while holding you accountable for things even when you haven't even done things. There could be a lot of pain over whatever this is, but it's time to cry it out, let it out, expose your story, express yourself, not feel like you need to keep your lips sealed on certain situations. What's coming to mind right now is, what's the name of that movie with the three witches? The Sanderson sisters? Oh, I can't. Hocus Pocus. In Hocus Pocus, there was the guy who had his mouth sewn shut. And when he gets a knife and he cuts the stitching off of his mouth and spits out all the shit in his mouth, and then he tells that bitch to shut up. And decides he ain't doing anything she tells him to do anymore. I feel like you're freeing yourself from certain situations as well that just did not resonate with who you are as a person. You are so close to this finish line and you are speeding towards it. This crying, this emotional awareness, and this allowing yourself to let it out is going to help so much. I never did actually say how I was forced to do that in public a couple times, twice actually, over the last couple years. I went into a gas station at one point a couple years ago, and my mom had just sent me like $10, and I was going to get something to eat. At that point, I didn't know about any of the resources in this town for anything like that. And so I hadn't really eaten a whole lot at that point for a little while. And I went up to the cash register to pay for it, and my card wasn't working. And it wasn't working. And I used the other card, and it wasn't working either. And I was like, I don't know why it's not working, because I have money in there. I just got money in there. And we tried it one more time, and I was just like, okay, I guess I can't get it then. And she's like, it's okay, sweetheart. I got it. Just take the sandwich. And at that point in time, I really hadn't been shown much kindness from anybody around here at all. And so I was barely able to get out a thank you in between crying, and I ran out the door as quick as I could. And then the second time was last year when my trailer got ran over by someone, and basically they ripped the back of it off like you would rip open a can of sardines. And it was 7 o'clock in the morning. It was like the worst wake-up call you could ever think of. And I just laid in my bed for like 2 or 3 minutes after it happened going, oh my God, is this really even happening right now? It was like I was in a trance. And then somebody knocked on my door, and I got up and I went out there and I dealt with the person who they were going to take off, and they're like, we'll be back later to make sure that we get your information and exchange information, so that I would prefer to go outside of the insurance companies and we'll take care of it and blah, blah, blah. And so I talked to the other lady that was there that convinced me I needed to make sure to call the cops so that they could come down and at least take a statement. And that way there was proof of everything that had happened. And another woman talked to me as well. And I was kind of in like a sleepwalking state that whole time. And then I walked into the store and I went to go in the bathroom because I wanted to be able to go just be by myself for a minute, go to the bathroom. And, you know, at that point I was feeling like I kind of needed to go in there because I was getting ready to break down too. And when I went up to the bathroom door, it was locked because somebody was in there. And I ended up just sliding down next to the bathroom and starting to bawl. And one of the girls that was in the store working that morning came over to talk to me about it. So there is definitely something here about exposing and expressing the more vulnerable parts of yourself and being okay with that. Having patience, compassion, understanding, kindness, love for yourself. And also observing things too. Being patient and observing things before taking action with them. Allowing yourself to be adaptable and flexible. It's kind of like this energy of learning when to remain passive and when to act in certain situations. Because there's a time for both. And also connecting on a more deep level with people. You may have been being in somewhat of a shallow energy for a little while as far as your connections go. 111, by the way, is when you put your last comment on there too. You may be in a bit of a shallow energy when it comes to dealing with other people. And I'm not saying that you're a shallow person. I'm not saying like, you know, you care only about looks or appearances or anything like that. What I'm meaning is that you are not diving deeply with the connections in your life on an emotional level. And that's one of the only things that is holding you back from being able to heal and follow your heart more at this time. Really needing to dive in and believe that you can regenerate yourself and that you can bring back the you that you used to be. The one that used to be open. The one that used to be authentic. The one that used to feel safe in doing so. If we never love, then we won't feel pain, but we'll never feel love either. And so it is worth it to feel and express the emotions that you're feeling within you. Because that's what's going to heal your heart more than anything else could. Standing up and defending what you believe in, fighting for what's right. You have worked so hard. And a lot of it's been hidden behind the scenes. So there may not be a whole lot of people who have seen how hard you have worked. And so you could be very angry with a lot of people around you for their lack of support or their lack of understanding or for thinking that you're lazy in some way or whatever the case may be. But you're needing to stand up and defend yourself, and you're needing to express these things. You're needing to pull back that curtain so people can see inside of it, instead of hiding it all away and then being upset at them for not seeing it. How can we expect people to see things that we don't show them? How can we expect them to defend what they can't see either? So it's time to expose the things that have been going on behind the scenes with you and to let people into your world. You're welcome, sweetheart. Thank you so much for being here today. And once again, thank you to anybody and everybody for all of your support, whatever way it may come in. I really do appreciate you guys so much. And I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys.